Hello friends, Namaskar. Myself Dr. Subrat and welcome to another episode of our channel Happy Parent Happy Child. Now today we will discuss about vitamin R, radiation, responsibility and running commentaries. Now first coming to radiation. Here the radiation means the radiation that is coming from the gadgets like mobile, Bluetooth, hotspot, Wi-Fi, etc. Before going to the exact effect of radiations, let me explain you the exact mechanism of brain development. Here I am not going to detail. Here see a 2-year-old child. In a 2-year-old child, the brain is just like this. You can see in the picture. Here this is the synaptic connection. There are a lot of neurons and lot of connections are there. Now let me tell you. In brain consists of a lot of neurons. Neurons are the basic building blocks or the cells of cells of brain. Now billions, trillions of neurons, they combine with each other and they make a brain. Now the connection between two neurons is called synapse. 3-year-old child, total around 1000 trillion synapses will be there. And as the child grows, many neurons or many synaptic connections are lost. And in an adult, total 500 trillion synapses will be there. That means total 500 trillion synapses are lost. Now what are the synapses that will be lost? Let me show you a small example. In this picture, here you can see a clear, structured or organized pattern, a symmetrical organized pattern. Now let me show you another picture. You can see this picture. Do you find this picture orderly or organized or symmetrical? No, it's chaotic picture. Now let me rub the extra content, the unwanted parts of this picture. Now I am rubbing it. Now you can see how this unwanted, because of this rubbing of this unwanted contents, unwanted parts, how this chaos picture becomes an orderly. This is exactly what happens in our brain. In a 2 or 3-year-old child, 1000 trillion synapses are there. As the child grows, our brain thinks there are many unwanted neurons, many unwanted synapses, and our brain destroys those unwanted synapses, and total 500 trillion of wanted useful synapses are left. And this process is called pruning. Now, what are the cells that will be lost? Unwanted cell. How our brain feels that these cells are unwanted? Because these synapses are never stimulated. These synapses are never used by our brain. Then those synapses are perceived as unwanted by our body. Let me give you a small example. Suppose a child is born, you blindfold the child, keep him in a dark room for 18 years. Now take the child out of that room after 18 years. That child has never seen light for entire 18 years of his life. Now when he comes out, it is very likely that the child will be blind, because the cells of his brain which are useful for vision, the cells which helps in vision, those were never used. That's why our brain will think that these vision synapses are useless, so that will destroy that part. So it is always useful to optimally utilize the synapses of the brain of your child, a growing child. So always give optimal stimulation to your child. Now in a theoretical concept, what happens? Suppose your child is flooded with radiations. Those radiations penetrates the brain. In a growing brain, it can easily penetrate. Now stimulates the brain which should not have been stimulated. Now as the child grows, the child is left with a lot of synapses. Those are actually useless but perceived by the brain as useful. Now there comes the curiosity. Now in this again goes to the picture, coming to the picture. Suppose instead of rubbing out all the unwanted areas, if some unwanted areas are left, then again our picture is not going to be symmetrical or complete or orderly. Again it will be disorderly picture only. This is exactly what happens if a number of synapses, instead of clear 500 trillion synapses, useful synapses, if a child is having 700 or 800 synapses, out of which 200 or 300 trillion synapses are useless. That extra synapses, that will only add on to the chaosity. Like in a small room, if you keep 5 chairs, that will look orderly, that will look beautiful. Suppose in place of 5 chairs, If you put 550 or 60 chairs, that will be chaos. It will just like a storeroom. So in a child, if a lot of useless synapses are left, then this child is definitely going to behave abnormally. Some behavioral disturbances is going to happen in those child. That's why always avoid unwanted radiations to your child. Because of if you avoid the unwanted exposure to radiations, your child's brain will develop as an orderly brain, symmetrical, orderly fashion. Now, how to avoid it? Now, what are the remedies to avoid these radiations? The remedies are: first, your mobile should be kept minimum 6 feet away from the growing brain. Never use your mobiles direct to the brain of your baby. If a woman is pregnant, never keep your mobile phones just above your belly. The radiation may penetrate the fetus whose brain is growing. That may also impact the brain of your child, brain of your growing fetus. Now, when you have a habit of keeping the mobiles below the pillow, just avoid that habit. So always keep the mobiles minimum 6 feet away from the brain of your growing child, and do not keep it just below the pillow. If you are not getting an emergency call, better keep it in flight mode or switch it off, or keep away from the bedroom or away from the bed. Instead of showing him in the online content, better download that video, keep the mobile in flight mode, then you can show. Now Wi-Fi, if you are not working on Wi-Fi, better switch it off. Many times we have a habit of keeping the Wi-Fi on for 24/7. Instead of keeping the Wi-Fi on 24/7, because it causes a lot of disturbances to the sleep also. So if you are not working on a Wi-Fi, better switch it off. Switch it on only when you are working on it. Better switch it off for 12 to 14 hours a day. And hotspot and other other gadgets, better keep it minimum 6 feet away from the growing brain. So this is about radiation exposure. Now coming to running commentary. Imagine, you remember the days when we were children, we were kids, our grandmas or moms used to sing songs while feeding. They used to sing songs, they used to sing rhymes, or they used to say this is crow, this is cow, this is parrot, whatever. Now, if you don't eat the child, this is rice. If you don't eat, this crow will eat the rice. All these things they used to tell us. Now that way, you used to listen to the exact words which you should listen. Like suppose I am eating rice, now I am listening to rice repeatedly. Now I am seeing a cow, then I am seeing the cow repeatedly. I am listening to cow repeatedly. I am watching a crow, I am watching the crow repeatedly, and I am listening to crow also repeatedly. So, but now the problem is, whenever the child starts eating, mobile should be a gadget. Mobile should be necessary. Without the mobile, child will never eat. Now that way what happens, the child is listening to rhymes. Like suppose he is listening to Mary Had a Little Lamb and he is eating rice. Now he is eating rice but listening to lamb. So neither he understands rice nor he understands lamb. So always, if explain your child, if he is eating rice, explain him this is rice. And instead of just talking in a flat tone, better talk to them in a rhyming way, because the children are fond of rhymes and music, lori and all. So always talk to them in a rhyming way, like, "Beta, let us take rice, let us take dal." This is how you can explain. This is how you go on giving commentary. Always, like cricketers giving running commentary of whatever is happening. So always explain whatever you are doing with your child. Suppose you are buttoning him, suppose you are dressing him, explain the process in a rhyming way. Instead of just, but one thing you always remember, you never baby talk with your child. Like cartoon voice, totla voice, you never baby talk with your child. Always talk in an adult-like voice, but in a rhyming way. These are the voices that the children will capture the most. Now suppose you are bathing the child, explain the process. You are feeding him, explain the process. So always give a running commentary of whatever you are doing. If you do not give it, because nowadays, because of the deficiency of this problem only, the children are all become late speakers. And if you explain him the exact words, if you expose him to the exact words at the exact time, at the right word at right time, then the children start speaking at early age. Now coming to responsibility. Now in this era, we love our children so much that we grow them as a spoon-fed child. We don't give any responsibility. We do not give them any work to do. Now this is how a spoon-fed child is growing, and the responsibility that is within us is dying in our children. So always give small tasks to your child. Suppose the mom is cooking the rice or cooking then ask the child to bring the vegetables. You bring, beta, go and bring potato. Son, go and bring brinjal. So whatever. So give them small tasks. That way, though it is very small task for any child, but it is a big thing for the child feels that I am a responsible person, I am a responsible citizen in this home. So as the child grows, they grow as a responsible citizen. For example, when I was a kid, like during Durga Puja and other festivals, we were not allowed to the stage. But one day, one of my elders, like one of my uncles, he told me, go and take care of that puja part, so that the dog will not enter. That day, for 3 to 4 hours, I stood in the pandal, didn't allow even a fly. That day I felt I am the most responsible person, like as if I am organizing this entire puja. This happens with every child. Suppose you give them small responsibilities, they will feel the responsibility within them and they grow up as a responsible citizen. This is all about R, vitamin R. Now again, thanks again for watching our videos on vitamins, and if you have not subscribed, please subscribe to our channel Happy Parent Happy Child, and if you have any queries, please write this in the comment section and I will be happy to answer your queries. Thanks again.